Ladies and gentlemen, how do you autistically design your funnels so that in 30 days you can pretty much guarantee it's going to be creating cash? That's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. If you're somebody who's creating a funnel, it could be a low ticket, high ticket, VSL, profile, DM messenger, ad funnel. How do you begin to design this funnel so that's 100% going to work? And I know what you're thinking. How the heck am I going to, in one video, just magically make your funnel work? Well, my name is Brett Foley, and I've been helping online coaches build out their funnels for quite a while. And really it comes down to a few key bottlenecks or a few key things that you are missing within your funnel or that you're not doing that is causing it to crash and burn to the point where I like to call it your funnel hopping. You think this magical funnel is going to make you all of a sudden print thousands of dollars, and then maybe it does work for a little bit and you don't really know why, and it stops working, and then you hop to another funnel. So you go through this funnel cycle and testing out new things all the time and trying to be on YouTube and discover what is this magical key that's going to unlock your funnel abilities, that's going to print all of this cash. Well, it's because you're ultimately not autistically creating your funnel. You're not swimming far enough upstream to fix your problems within your current funnel. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you all the key areas that you need to implement into your funnel, or things that you need to be doing in order to have a successfully running funnel. And ultimately, you're being autistic about it. So let's get into it. Number one here, market feedback loop. This is hands down. If there's one thing that you could do for your funnel, it's probably this. Market feedback loop is so important. Okay, most of us build a funnel by funnel hacking, and you need to stop doing that after you've built the funnel. Funnel hacking is really good, but ultimately makes you broke, because if you're just funnel hacking, you're just stealing other people's marketing message. That isn't bad when you're initially starting your funnel because you get a general sense of what really works in your niche. But if you solely rely off of that and not what I call the market feedback loop, then you're for sure going to be hopping to another funnel because you think you discovered another magical funnel that works. What you need to do is begin to analyze sales calls, and you begin to objection handle in your funnel here. So what I'm talking about market feedback loop is this process here. You're marketing. And then you get feedback. And then you put it into your marketing. And it's as simple as analyzing your sales calls. What are people, your ideal prospects, telling you on these sales calls? What are the things that they're asking you about? What are the objections that they're coming up with? What are the common patterns that you see in the people that are being sold into your funnel? What is the language that they're using? Once you figure that out, you put it back into your funnels, meaning you put it back into your marketing. Because at the end of the day, the thing that ultimately sells isn't the funnel, it's the message. And once you get this feedback from your sales calls or from you talking to your prospects, you're re-putting it back into your ads, your VSL, your messaging, your copy within the funnel itself, the forms that you have people fill out, the other things that I'll talk about, like resource pages and stuff. But your market feedback loop is absolutely essential. And most people just, they just, get the funnel working for a little bit, sell one or two people in, but don't analyze why they've got in, or don't analyze the questions they asked you on the sales calls. And you don't put that back into the funnel. So this is number one, market feedback loop. Number two here, tracking. I can't tell you how many people are not tracking their numbers when it comes to your funnel. And you have to track your numbers to the finest detail. Because the problem is, if you are a business owner who is just totally basing your decisions on how you feel, then you're never going to succeed. Because at the end of the day, business is ultimately a numbers game. And if you figure out that you're getting book calls for $150, okay, and then you want to scale out, it's as simple as spending more on ads to get more book calls. Most business owners at the moment, most people who are throwing up their funnels aren't tracking their ads. They don't know what CPM is. They don't know what click-through rate is. Some people don't even know their close rate. Some people don't know their book call rate. Like, if you're not tracking those things, you don't know where the bottleneck is in your business. And you're just entirely basing all your decisions off how you feel. And you can have a really bad day, but if you zoom out for the whole entire month and realize, hey, you are spending this amount of money and you get this amount in return, then you know that you're okay. Or you might not find out that you're not okay and you know exactly where to pinpoint it. Essentially, not tracking your numbers is like being dropped in a forest. You're dropped in this forest here and you're told, find your way home, but you don't have a GPS. In this case, for your business, your GPS and knowing the steps to fix that's going to ultimately make this work is tracking your numbers. All right, so that's number 2, is the core numbers. And in my incubator, we talk about numbers a lot so that we know exactly where to pinpoint where things are going wrong in your funnel. Okay, you should be knowing your VSL watch through rate. You should be knowing your ads click through rate. You should be knowing your opt-in rate. You should be knowing how much it costs to get a book call. You should be knowing your CPM. If you're doing a DM funnel, you should be knowing the amount of DMs that need to be sent for getting book calls. You should be knowing your close rate. So if you're not tracking your numbers, track your numbers. This is absolutely essential, non-negotiable, especially when you're spending money on ads and, you need to pinpoint the exact area. Okay, so number 3, belief selling. Kind of hinted at this in the beginning. The funnel itself isn't what sells somebody. It's the messaging. And if you can begin to sell the beliefs of your program, your high-ticket product, or whatever you're selling, and you weave that into the messages, then simply you're dictating somebody's actions. Because if somebody, let's put it this way, if somebody already believed the things they needed to do, which is aka your program, if they knew those things and believed in it, they would already be doing it. So if you shift somebody's beliefs into what they need to be doing throughout your funnel, then they're going to take action, aka hopping on a sales call to be sold, to be doing the things that they know they should be doing in order to see success. So at the end of the day, we're not selling a program throughout your funnel. We're not selling a funnel either. Your funnel is just a system to bring people in, but it isn't a system to sell somebody. Sell the belief throughout your funnel and you will convert more people. So that's number 3, belief selling. Number 4, pixel dialing. You need to dial in your pixel. Most people do not understand how important this is when it comes to getting quality leads. If you're somebody who isn't getting quality leads, it's simply because you probably, it could go into messaging, but after that, it's probably because your pixel isn't being dialed in. A bad lead will ruin your pixel. What I've learned from Facebook and running ads is that Facebook dictates who to send your ads to based off of the last conversion that you got. So it's extremely important that you're turning off Advantage Plus. Too many people are running this. Advantage Plus is just telling Facebook to get the lowest cost per lead. So if somebody unqualified ends up going through your funnel and it costed a lot less than more qualified people, all Facebook sees at the end of the day is that costed less to get this person, and they're going to be hunting for that person every single time, even though they might not be qualified, because Facebook can only measure conversions, but they can't measure the quality of leads. So the important thing that we're doing is making sure our system is only firing when a qualified person comes through and converts. So can't get into it too deep on this video, but there's ways to make sure that your pixel is only firing for quality leads. And typically you're using a form, routing that form back to the pixel based off of what they filled out in this form. And we got to make sure that the pixel is also dialed into the right conversion events. If the pixel itself isn't dialed into the right conversion events, right? Like, let's say we're only dialing in for opt-ins. And this could be very nuanced as well. But if you're only dialing for opt-ins, yeah, like many people can opt in. But who are the people that are converting? Are we dialing in the pixel for this? And are we making sure that the people that are coming through aren't being fired off to the pixel if they're unqualified? So pixel dialing is super, super, super important, because Facebook will just run with your most recent conversion. If that conversion wasn't qualified, then your pixel is just or your ads are gonna head to that unqualified person every single time. So protecting your pixel is super, super, super important. So that's number 4. Number 5, this one's pretty easy, pretty self-explanatory, but split testing. Man, this kind of goes back to tracking and basing things off of feel. Oftentimes, the best ad, the best VSL, the best funnel, the messaging on there isn't usually the one that you thought it was going to be. And that is why split testing is so important. Because once again, if you feel like you created an amazing ad, or you feel like you made an amazing landing page, that's all feel. You got to test it, compare it to something else. Remember, if you want to autistically design a funnel, we need to think like a scientist. A scientist isn't just collecting data from one person. They're collecting data from a whole entire group to figure out patterns. And split testing is essential for you to make sure that you're testing out the messaging. You're finding the ones that work based off of real world data, not based off of how you feel. Split testing is it's self-explanatory. I feel like I don't have to dive too deep into that one. If you're not split testing, you are not in it to win it, essentially. Okay, number 6, really interesting here. This kind of gets into the belief selling. Once again, the messaging sells the thing that you're about to sell, right? Identity, having this weaved in to your messaging is absolutely crucial. This is another layer below beliefs. If somebody has this identity, they act upon that identity. Essentially, it's like identity, then beliefs. And if you show the person the identity that they will be getting, the person they will become, it's a little more deeper than transformations too, but the new belief systems, the person that operates, or the person that is the one that's successful, if you show that and you show the gap between that within your entire funnel and all your marketing message, then you're doing a good job at selling, because people ultimately don't want the program. They ultimately, yes, want the transformation, but what else comes with that transformation? It's the new person. So what you need to do here is you need to show the 99% versus the 1%. You show what the 1% is doing versus the 99%, and how this person believes in the identity that they have, and then the identity that the person will get in becoming the 1%. And you put that into your VSL, you put that into your ads. That's what they ultimately want. They want a better life. They want a better version of themselves at the end of the day. Okay? So implementing identity throughout your funnel is very, very important. Okay, number 7, you just need to have an insane VSL. Too many people are not focused on their VSL. They think just putting up one VSL is magically going to make people convert. Your first VSL is research. It's not there to convert. I mean, like, that's the obvious goal. But really, ultimately, what's happening from your first VSL is you're just collecting data. Okay? You're collecting to see what the watch time percentage is. You're seeing if people are hopping on calls. You're seeing then the objections that are happening. And then you're recreating a VSL that's objection handling. And you're putting that belief changing in there. You're putting the identity selling in there. And you're making multiple versions of your VSL through a span of time. And ultimately, through version 9 of your VSL, you'll finally have that one video that we're all looking for as a business owner. That one video that is true leverage. That is truly a evergreen type video. And it's not just going to come from the first one that you create. Because as a coach, as a business owner, we're always looking for the highest leverage thing that we can do. One input equals 10x in output, meaning one thing that you do can create 10 sales, right? That's your VSL. So a lot of your energy needs to go into this one thing to eventually make it evergreen. And what you're trying to do in this VSL is analyze the data. Go back to your market feedback loop. See what people are saying. Re-put that back into the VSL to sell them. Putting in belief changing, identity selling. And there's so much more that I can talk about this. It could be a whole nother video. Comment if you want another video on this. But there's a lot of principles that you need to put into your VSL. But most people aren't autistically focusing on their VSL. I'm on version like 20 of my VSL. That's how deep I'm thinking about these things, because I learned so much every single day of what marketing message needs to be put into there. So number 7, focus on a VSL. Go insanely deep with it. All right. Number 8 here, add selection for the warmth of your audience. Most people don't understand that there's different types of ads that you want to have for different types of targeting. There's cold ads, warm ads, when somebody books a call, what ads are you showing to them after they book a call? Yes, you can do that. You can create an audience of booked people before they even show up on a call, and you can show them certain types of ads. Picture ads, what are those best for? Testimonial ads, what are those best for? Remember, if you think of your ads even as a funnel, you have top of funnel ads, which are cold. You have middle of funnel ads, which are warmer audience, people who have seen your top of funnel ads before. And then you have bottom of funnel ads. This is where you're calling direct action. So these people are super warm. These people are on fire. And you're calling direct action to people. So there's different types of ads that you want to be running here. And to give you a little bit of an insight, for the middle funnel and bottom of funnel, these are more like testimonial ads, direct response ads. So this is like, I'm looking for 5 people who want to lose weight in the next 90 days, right? Like direct. And that's bottom of funnel, people who are super warm to you already. Top of funnel is just getting people interested, getting people into the funnel. You don't want to just end there with the types of ads that you're doing. So understanding ad selection for the warmth of your audience is absolutely crucial. Okay. Number 9 here. Back end sales process. Most people do not have this dialed in to where it needs to be to fully capitalize on the ads that they're running. Because at the end of the day, your funnel is going to have leaks. If you're just running cold traffic to a funnel, to a landing page, people are going to watch the video, they're not going to book. People are going to go through a application and they might not finish it, but they put their contact details in. People are going to see your ad and go to your Instagram profile. What is filling in those leaks? It's a good sales process. And it's just more than also filling the leaks. It's also what happens after they book. So you need setters and you need a CRM to track everything. Okay. You need a centralized place where all of your data, all of your opt-ins, all your leads are going to, and an organized structure where your setters can see everybody that's happening, all the opportunity that is there, and then contacting them, reaching out to them, moving them through a pipeline to make sure that they are hit up, followed up with. If they don't close, what's happening after they don't close? This is essentially allowing you to capitalize on your funnel, because at the end of the day, you can be spending $1,000 to get 1,000 people on your funnel, but not all of these 1,000 people are going to convert. It might take more time, and you need to be filling in the leaks with a good sales process. Are they calling up people, right? Are your setters calling people up? Having a good sales process, and then also a good post-booking system that handles objections, right? When somebody books, we need follow-ups. We need a resource page that self-qualifies. So self-qualification. Are all of these things happening so by the time somebody hops on the call, they know what this is. You're not dragging out your sales process. Are testimonials being sent to them? Are they being followed up to make sure that they are going to hop on the call? Are there extra resources being given to them? So that's that resource page. And is this resource page qualifying them, handling objections, and giving them more information on you, the product, the offer, why they should trust you, why they see you as authority, and why this is a good opportunity for them? If you're not having this sales systems in place, you're essentially killing the chances of you capitalizing on your ad spend, capitalizing on closing the call, and ultimately beefing up your funnel. And that's pretty much it. These are all the things that you're missing out on if you are not converting through your funnel and you're just hopping to the next thing, hoping that magically this new funnel that you design is all of a sudden going to make you convert. No, you're not autistically looking at the key pillars that need to be focused on for not just a week, but 30, 60, 90 days on end to make sure that you are truly building out an evergreen system. Yeah. So if you want to autistically design your funnel like me and want to get my help, my autism, to help you out on your funnel, check out my free resources in the link below. If you want to book a call with me to see if we can help you out, all good. Book that call. No pressure on it. We'll just see if we can help you out. If you don't want to book that call, just get my free resources and watch some of my other content. Other than that, see you in the next video.